So what we look for here are trails like this one, often used by nutria.
For the last 7 years, Mario Yusi has been out here in the wetlands of the Chesapeake Bay trying to control one of the worst invasive species, the nutria. With his partner, Mike Woolsword, they have planted thousands of traps on nutria beds like this one.
This is typical one of the traps that we use.
During the last decade, about 15,000 nutrias have been eliminated in more than 60,000 hectares of land. But experts say they have many more years to eradicate them. Wildlife biologist Steve Kendrott is in charge of this program for the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
This is an eradication project, so we're not trying to catch these animals alive to move them somewhere else. There's unfortunately no place that we can take these animals.
This is the Blackwater National Wildlife Refuge, where the nutria was originally introduced from South America to the United States in the 1930s, when there was a fur farm here. The nutria is a rodent that can grow up to 14 kilos. They live mostly in wetlands, where they dig holes and eat the vegetation's roots. They can reproduce very fast and have no predators in the area. Dan Murphy oversees the nutria project at the Fish and Wildlife Service. He says the nutria population expanded to the point where they became a key factor in the destruction of wetlands.
This area behind me was basically hundreds of acres of emergent wetland. Now, because of the impacts of nutria herbivory, the nutria destroyed all the vegetation, and the sensitive wetland soils have washed away. The wetlands disappeared, and what we have now is open water.
Murphy says rising seawater levels, climate change, and nutria are responsible for the destruction of more than 20,000 hectares of wetland in this region. Wetlands are rich ecosystems for fisheries and birds, like this red-winged blackbird chick. Large extensions of this shoreline used to be a wooded area. These trees are barely holding on. As the wetlands disappeared, their roots are exposed to salt water. Wetlands protect the coastal line from storms and erosion. Its destruction triggers a domino effect of damage. From this region on the Chesapeake Bay, the nutria expanded to 16 states. According to Leopoldo Miranda, in charge of the Chesapeake Bay Field Office of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service.
They estimate the damage of nutria in over $200 million. And right now we're spending about $1.5 million a year to eradicate nutria.
But the nutria case is not unique. Nearly 50,000 invasive plants and animals are found now through the U.S. A recent study estimates losses add up to almost $120 billion per year. They come from all over the world, either legally imported as exotic pets or plants, or as hitchhikers on the stream of global commerce. During a recent congressional hearing in the U.S., Florida Senator Bill Nelson made a passionate case about the Burmese python, brought legally to the U.S. as an exotic pet and released into the wild by their owners.
These snakes have proliferated to the tune of 150,000 in the Florida Everglades National Park.
In the last 10 years, the Burmese python, which can grow over 5 meters long, have attacked a number of humans, killing 7 of them. Senator Nelson called for change in legislation to control these and many other invasive species that do not encounter any predators here.
This snake coming out of Burma, all it knows is it likes moist, humid climates. This is not restricted just to the south end of the peninsula of Florida. This snake, if it continues to proliferate, you're going to find it all over the southern United States.
Experts at the congressional hearing agreed that some invasive species have already crossed the threshold of eradication. And while Congress debates new legislation and government agencies try to fight the invasive species, native animals, like this bald eagle, keep trying to hold on to the last piece of their habitat. For producer Zulima Palacio, this is Cindy Saine, VOA News.